If we think about South Korea since 1992, so I'll give you around different sort of seemingly random cases. South Korea and China normalized relations after 1992. Before that, they're not really talking to each other. South Korea is a proximate small power, like the Southeast Asian states in many ways. Right? So economic relationships are going to be central to both sides. They tend to avoid dealing with each other economically. Right? South Korea is not going to threaten China, not on its own. Right? They also can't really avoid trading with each other because they're sitting right there. No matter how angry the South Korean government gets at the Chinese government. No matter how much the Chinese government might feel that South Korea is really just too much a pawn of the United States or working too close with Japan, they can't avoid trading with each other. The security relationship, though, I would argue is shaped very largely by South Korea's domestic politics. And we can see this again with electoral shifts and partisan transitions of who's in power, who's the president of South Korea, but also, more generally, does South Korean political opinion want a harder or softer stance towards one another? When there's a consensus in South Korean politics for a harder stance, security cooperation with China is impossible, and security competition heats up. When a more conciliatory stance is the consensus opinion in South Korea vis-a-vis North Korea, the security relationship with China eases quite a bit, tensions reduce, and the possibility for some types of cooperation increases. So again, domestic politics in at least one of these states really is determinative for the security relationship in this case. We think about Japan very quickly. Japan is a proximate great power. It sits right next to China. China has fought wars many times over the last several hundred years. Most recently World War II, but not exclusively World War II. Right? Security tensions are almost unavoidable. From China's point of view, Japan does constitute a significant threat to China's basic national security. From Japan's point of view, China is the primary threat to its national security. Both countries are very obvious about saying that. So there's almost certainly going to be some degree of security tension between the two states. The economic relationship is shaped by coalitions, similar to the U.S. and Chinese economic relationship, I would argue. I haven't thought this through in as much detail, but essentially, when Japan has a kind of pro-globalization coalition, and so does China, they seem better able to cooperate and trade with each other. When one or the other does not, they stop trading so productively. But this baseline security tension is always there by virtue of the fact that they're sitting next to each other.